Have you found yourself hesitating at the bottom of a staircase, wondering whether your legs will carry you up like they used to? Do you find that standing from a low seat now requires effort sometimes, even a small push with your hands? Or perhaps walking from one end of the house to the other leaves you feeling strangely tired, your legs heavy, unsteady, or just not quite right? If any of this sounds familiar, I want to tell you something important, something most people won't. This is not just aging. This is your body signaling that something is changing, and if you don't act soon, that change can quietly take away the things that matter most. Your freedom, your confidence, and your independence. Because when your legs weaken, your world shrinks. You avoid long walks. You skip social outings. You fear falling in public. And over time, your muscles shrink, your balance worsens, and something inside you starts to fade, the part of you that felt strong, capable, and in control. But here's the truth no one is telling you. Weak legs are not inevitable. They are a symptom of something deeper, something fixable. And the sooner you understand the causes, the faster you can take control. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 of the most overlooked yet powerful reasons why your legs get weaker after 60. These aren't just generic facts about aging. These are specific biological, lifestyle-driven reasons that you have the power to change. Whether you're 60 or 80, your legs don't have to give up on you. They just need the right attention, the right strategy, and in many cases, just a few small changes can make the difference between decline and vitality. So if you're tired of feeling limited, if you've been quietly worried about losing your strength, or if you've simply started to notice small but persistent changes in how you move, then this message is for you. What you're about to learn could mean the difference between years of confidence and independence or years of frustration and dependence. Let's begin. It's not too late, but it's time to act. So what exactly is happening beneath the surface? What silent changes are weakening your legs without your full awareness? Let's start by looking at the first and perhaps most common culprit, something that begins early but accelerates quietly with age. Reason 1: silent muscle loss. The hidden erosion of strength. As we discussed, when your legs start to feel weak, it's not just a matter of age, it's a message from your body that something deeper is changing. And the first reason behind this decline is one that goes unnoticed for far too long: muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia. This isn't about feeling a little tired after a walk. Sarcopenia is the gradual, quiet wasting of your muscle tissue. It begins in your 30s, but after the age of 60, the pace accelerates dramatically. Without proper intervention, you could lose up to 30 to 50% of your leg muscle mass by the time you reach your 80s. That means your muscles are literally shrinking beneath your skin, even if your weight stays the same. This kind of loss doesn't happen overnight. It begins subtly. You might notice that standing up from a chair requires a bit more effort. Carrying groceries feels heavier. You take more breaks when walking through the grocery store. Maybe you've started choosing the cart even when you're only picking up a few items, just so you have something to lean on. Or perhaps you've skipped the frozen food aisle because it's too far from the entrance. Eventually, those little struggles accumulate until suddenly activities you once took for granted become nearly impossible. And the hardest part, most people don't even realize it's happening until one day they reach for support to stand up and wonder, when did this get so hard? The real danger of sarcopenia is not just physical, it's emotional. When your legs no longer support you with confidence, your world begins to shrink. You go out less. You avoid stairs. You stop doing the things that once gave you joy. But here's the critical truth: this process is reversible. Muscles respond to challenge at any age. Studies have shown that even individuals in their 70s, 80s, and beyond can build strength through consistent low-impact resistance training. That doesn't mean lifting heavy weights. It means standing up from a chair without using your hands, walking daily using resistance bands, climbing stairs slowly and intentionally, and perhaps just as important, fueling your body with enough protein, lean meats, eggs, legumes, nuts, and dairy, so your muscles have what they need to rebuild. You may not be training for a marathon, but you are preparing for something far more meaningful: the ability to rise out of your favorite chair, walk across the room without fear, and live each day on your own terms. But even if your muscles remain intact, they can't operate in isolation. Strength isn't only built by movement, it's sustained by what powers that movement: blood. Oxygen, nutrients, and hydration all travel through your circulatory system to fuel your muscles. And when that steady supply is interrupted, the consequences are more serious than most people realize. That leads us to the second major and often overlooked reason why your legs may be getting weaker with age. Reason 2: poor circulation. When blood stops flowing, so does a strength. Circulation is the lifeline of your muscles. It delivers everything your legs need to stay strong and mobile. But as we age, this system becomes less efficient. If you've ever felt your legs go numb, cold, or heavy, or if you've experienced cramping during even short walks, it may not just be fatigue. It may be your body's warning that your muscles aren't getting the fuel they need. Have you noticed your legs feeling cold or numb while you sit? Do your calves cramp when you walk, only to feel better once you stop? Do your feet ever feel heavy, tingly, or slightly swollen by the end of the day? These aren't just annoying symptoms. They're warning lights, your body's way of telling you that blood isn't reaching your lower limbs the way it should. One of the most common causes of this is peripheral artery disease, or PAD, a condition in which arteries become narrowed by plaque buildup, reducing circulation to the legs. PAD affects up to 1 in 5 adults over 60, yet most people don't even know they have it. The symptoms often come on gradually: fatigue in the legs, slower walking pace, longer recovery times. At first, you might just think you're out of shape, but over time, the effects compound. Your muscles weaken, not because you're lazy or inactive, but because they're being starved of oxygen. But here's the good news: circulation can be improved, often with simple, consistent actions. Walking is one of the most effective ways to stimulate blood flow. Even slow, short walks around your home or yard help activate the calf muscles, which function like a secondary heart, pushing blood back up toward your core. With every step, you're not just moving, you're pumping life back into your legs. Staying hydrated is another essential step. Blood is composed mostly of water, and dehydration makes it thicker and harder to circulate. Aim for regular sips of water throughout the day, not just when you feel thirsty. Reducing salt intake, elevating your legs when you rest, and enjoying a warm foot soak in the evening can also support better circulation. These aren't luxury habits, they're protective strategies. But if you notice persistent leg pain, numbness, or any sudden changes in temperature or color, speak with your doctor. PAD isn't just a leg issue, it increases your risk of heart attack and stroke. Catching it early can change your entire trajectory, because your legs don't just need strength, they need fuel. And blood is that fuel. Without it, even the strongest muscles can't perform. But with proper care, movement and support, circulation can return, and with it, your confidence. But circulation is only part of the story. Even if blood reaches your legs, your muscles still depend on one more thing to move effectively: communication. That communication comes from your nerves. And when they start to falter, your legs no longer respond the way they should. Reason 3. Peripheral neuropathy. When nerves stop communicating. Have you ever walked across the room and suddenly realized you couldn't quite feel your feet, or felt a strange tingling, burning, or numbness crawling up your legs, like your limbs were no longer fully yours? If so, you're not imagining things. What you're experiencing could be a sign of peripheral neuropathy, a condition that affects nearly 1 in 3 older adults. It happens when the nerves that carry messages between your brain, spine, and limbs begin to break down or misfire. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's a hidden danger. Because when your nerves stop communicating clearly, your legs stop responding accurately. You might feel unsteady, you might not lift your foot high enough to clear a step, and in the split second that your brain tries to send a signal and it doesn't arrive in time, that's when falls happen. It's a silent breakdown in your body's internal wiring, and it can creep in gradually, often disguised as simple fatigue or clumsiness. The causes are often metabolic or nutritional. Diabetes is a major contributor, as are deficiencies in vitamin B12, a nutrient vital for nerve health. Long-term alcohol use, certain medications, or even chronic inflammation can also play a role. But here's the hopeful part: nerves can regenerate slowly but surely if given the right conditions. Start by stabilizing your blood sugar. If you're diabetic or even borderline, work closely with your healthcare provider to stay within target ranges. Check your vitamin B12 levels regularly and don't hesitate to supplement if needed. Sometimes food alone isn't enough. And most importantly, don't stop moving. Gentle activity like stretching, light yoga, tai chi, or even daily foot massages can help retrain the connection between your nerves and muscles. Think of it as rewiring your communication system. Because once those wires start working again, your confidence in movement grows, and with it, your independence. But what if the nerves themselves are healthy and yet the messages are still getting scrambled or blocked? That's when we have to look deeper. Because in many cases, the root of leg weakness doesn't start in your legs at all, it starts higher up in the spine. Reason 4. Spinal problems. When the root of the problem isn't in your legs at all, sometimes the problem isn't in your legs at all. You stretch, you strengthen, you walk, and still you feel weak, unsteady, unsure. And that's when it's time to consider a source of weakness that's often overlooked: your spine. The spine is your body's main highway for nerve signals. Every message your brain sends to your legs, from lifting your foot to balancing your weight, has to pass through the lower back. But when that highway is compressed, damaged, or inflamed, the signals can slow down, get distorted, or even disappear altogether. This is where conditions like spinal stenosis, sciatica, or herniated discs come into play, especially after the age of 60. These aren't just back problems, they're movement problems, leg problems, life problems. You might notice a dull ache in your lower back, or maybe a sharp radiating pain that travels down one leg, or a feeling that your knees might give way without warning. These symptoms are more than annoying, they're red flags. And the danger is not just physical. When you don't trust your legs, your confidence suffers. You start to avoid stairs, crowds, and unfamiliar places. You walk less, move less, live less. But here's what's important to understand: not all back issues require surgery. In fact, many spinal-related leg problems can be managed or even reversed through posture correction, core strengthening, and lifestyle adjustments. Start by looking at how you sit. If you spend hours in a chair that doesn't support your lower back, your spine compresses and nerves can get pinched. Using a lumbar support cushion, taking breaks every 30 minutes to gently stretch, and avoiding slouching can make a real difference. Certain stretches like knee-to-chest pelvic tilts or a seated spinal twist help decompress the lower spine and reduce inflammation. Pair these with a short daily walk and you're creating space and movement for your nerves to function again. It's also worth noting, tight hamstrings and weak abdominal muscles can pull your spine out of alignment, so even simple strengthening exercises can have a ripple effect on your leg strength. And if the pain or numbness is persistent, don't wait. See your healthcare provider or a physical therapist. Imaging tests like MRIs can help identify compression points, and early treatment can prevent long-term nerve damage. Because here's the truth: when your spine is strong and aligned, your legs have a stable, reliable foundation to stand on. And sometimes that's all they've been waiting for. Now let's turn our attention to something you may have never suspected: a hidden chemical imbalance that can sabotage your muscle control even when everything else seems fine. It's subtle, it's sneaky, and it's more common than you might think. Sometimes it's not your muscles, your nerves, or your spine, it's your chemistry. Have you ever been jolted awake by a sudden leg cramp in the middle of the night? Or felt your legs tremble unexpectedly during the day, even though you hadn't overexerted yourself? These strange sensations, cramps, twitching, weakness, often point to a deeper issue hiding in plain sight: electrolyte imbalance. Electrolytes are the unsung heroes of your body. Minerals like potassium, magnesium, calcium, and sodium that help your muscles contract, your nerves fire, and your body stay hydrated. But as we age, maintaining the right balance of these minerals becomes harder, and the consequences of imbalance become more serious. Here's why your body needs just the right amount of electrolytes for your muscles to contract and relax properly. If levels drop too low, or even just a little off, your muscles can become irritated, sluggish, or spastic. You might feel shaky after climbing stairs. You might struggle to hold your balance while standing still. Or worse, you might cramp up without warning while simply walking across the room. And this isn't rare. Many older adults unknowingly develop electrolyte imbalances due to chronic dehydration, poor diet, or medications, especially diuretics and blood pressure drugs, which flush minerals out of your system. The danger: it creeps in gradually. One day you're feeling a little more tired than usual. The next week your legs feel weak after only a few minutes of walking. Soon it feels like your muscles don't fire the way they used to, and all the while your body's essential minerals are quietly slipping out of balance. But the good news: electrolyte imbalance is one of the easiest causes of leg weakness to correct. Start with hydration. Don't wait until you're thirsty. By the time you feel thirst, your body's already behind. Aim for small, regular sips of water throughout the day, especially if you're active or taking medications that increase urination. Next, focus on electrolyte-rich foods. For potassium, bananas, oranges, sweet potatoes, spinach, and avocados. For magnesium, almonds, black beans, whole grains, and dark leafy greens. For calcium, low-fat dairy, broccoli, fortified plant-based milks, and canned fish with bones. If leg cramps or fatigue persist, consider a magnesium supplement, but only after checking with your doctor, especially if you're on medication. You can also try a warm Epsom salt bath, which allows magnesium to be absorbed directly through the skin, relaxing tense muscles and improving sleep. And here's something few people realize: low vitamin D can impair calcium absorption, which further weakens both muscles and bones. So get your levels checked regularly and don't shy away from morning sunlight when possible. The key takeaway here is simple but profound. Your muscles are not machines. They're living tissue that relies on the perfect chemical balance to perform. And when that balance is restored, even just slightly, your strength, steadiness, and stamina can come roaring back. Now that we've uncovered the 5 most common and most overlooked causes of leg weakness after 60, let's step back and take a moment to reflect. Because understanding the cause is only the first step. What matters most is what you do next. Your strongest years are still within reach. By now you've learned 5 of the most common yet most overlooked reasons your legs may be getting weaker after 60. But let's be clear, this wasn't just a medical list. It was a mirror, a reflection of the small struggles you've been noticing, the quiet worries you've carried, and perhaps the loss of confidence you haven't dared to voice. Here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Weak legs are not your destiny. Inaction is. You are not at the mercy of time. You're at the mercy of your choices. And the most powerful choice you can make starting right now is to no longer ignore what your body's trying to tell you. Because when you reclaim your legs, you don't just move better, you live better. You walk further, you stand taller, you participate more. You feel like you again. Think of your legs not just as limbs, but as the pillars of your independence. They're what allow you to pick up your grandchild, to travel without fear, to enjoy your garden, your church, your morning walk, to live life on your own terms. So what's the next step? Not a dramatic overhaul, not a gym membership, but one small intentional habit. Whether it's drinking more water today, taking a 5-minute walk after lunch, doing gentle calf raises while brushing your teeth, or simply standing from your chair 3 times without using your hands. Start somewhere. Start now. Because motion is medicine and consistency is your prescription. And if no one has told you this lately, let me be the one to say it. You're not too old, you're not too late, and you're absolutely not beyond repair. The human body is resilient, especially when it's treated with care, knowledge, and daily movement. So if this video spoke to you, if you felt seen, understood, or even just more hopeful, don't keep that to yourself. Leave a comment below, share your story, ask a question. Let's build a community where aging is informed, not feared. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Because every week we dive deeper into topics that matter: nutrition, strength, balance, brain health, tailored specifically for people like you, wise, seasoned, and still striving. So until next time, stay informed, stay active, and never stop moving forward one strong step at a time.